Welcome to the Anxiety-Ridden Moms Club, the podcast where two moms, each with her own unique style, come together to navigate the wild ride of motherhood, careers, and anxiety. I'm Kylie.
And I'm Gina. There was a time when Kylie and I were direct competitors in corporate America and had different perspectives on growing our careers while managing life and all the things that come with it. But those differences have only made our friendship and our insights richer.
I like to call it trauma bonded, Gina. What started out as a difference of opinions evolved into a genuine connection. Our journey from varied viewpoints to a supportive friendship has taught us that every approach has its own strength.
Now, as co-hosts and best friends, we blend generations of wisdom with fresh, modern ideas to explore the challenges, joys, and yes, even the anxieties of being career moms.
So whether you're a seasoned pro or just stepping into the wild world of parenting, a new career, or new relationships, join us as we share stories, offer advice, and sometimes even overthink it all together.
Grab your favorite cup of tea or coffee and settle in. Welcome to the Anxiety-Ridden Moms Club.
Welcome back to the Anxiety-Ridden Moms Club, the podcast for moms who are simultaneously making lunches, losing their minds, and Googling how many glue sticks is too many. I'm Kylie, and y'all, it is back to school season, which means I am currently running on caffeine, Target runs, and a little bit of sheer panic.
And I'm Gina. And same, Kylie. I don't know who decided that every teacher needs you to bring 12 boxes of Kleenex, a pound of dry erase markers, and a specific brand of crayons or the world ends. But here we are, and guess what? We're going to talk all about it.
Here we go. Okay, first things first. Can we just acknowledge that back to school is basically Mom New Year's? Like, you start with good intentions, organized closets, meal prep, maybe even matching socks.
And by week 2, you're shoving Lunchables in a backpack and telling your kid to grab whatever cleanish t-shirt they can find.
For real. I literally cried in my car after dropping mine off last year. Anyone else do the drop-off cry? If so, send us a message and make us feel less alone.
Okay, let's talk about those supply lists. Why do they feel like a scavenger hunt designed by someone who hates you?
Yes. Last year, I legit went to 3 stores looking for a purple two-pronged folder with pockets. I felt like it was the Hunger Games school edition.
And don't even get me started on the kid who wants the $60 fancy backpack with 47 zippers. Like, honey, you're carrying one folder and your crushed granola bar. You do not need NASA-grade gear.
Lululemon. It's Lululemon gear.
Oh, Loop, sorry.
Yes, not NASA. That must have been your voice, for sure.
Right.
But real talk, back to school is a huge anxiety trigger for us and for our kids. New teachers, new routines, the friend drama, and let's be honest, mom guilt hits hard. Am I doing enough? Will they be okay? Are they going to eat the weird cafeteria pizza?
And if you're sending a kindergartner or a middle schooler for the first time, the tears are real. We see you. We feel you. It's okay to feel a little unglued while gluing name labels on 87 things.
Yes. I think it was a kindergarten maybe, and that I had to write their initials on every single crowd.
Oh,
like,
yes.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Label this, label that. Put it bigger. Put it in the back. Where do you need to put it? I don't know.
So many rules. So, all right, let's save each other some stress. Let's talk hacks. Here are a few we swear by. Pack lunches the night before because morning you is a disaster.
Create a drop zone. Backpacks, shoes, lunch boxes. So you're not screaming, "Where are your shoes?" at 7:29 in the morning.
Don't over Pinterest it. Seriously, nobody's winning an award for character-shaped sandwiches. Were you that mom?
Heck no. You barely got a packed lunch, trust me. It was eat at school. It's a little easier.
We start strong. We start strong with Sunday nights going through the menu. This is what it is, and then they pick if they're hot lunch or cold lunch. And then by the end of the year, I don't I don't give a shit. We don't even look at the menu. It's hot lunch or you don't eat it at all. Like that's just
well, we do that all week, every week. We don't think about it on Sundays other than, do you have money? Because that's what you need. And what does it cost? Because as they get a little older, it turns into, well, but I wanted to buy the cookie and the extra snack and another drink. I was super thirsty today, and all of a sudden it's $10 for lunch. That ain't happening. I'll give you $2.50 or $3.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so let's. I feel like we need to back it up a little bit because I want to talk about the supply lists. So we got our supply list a couple weeks ago, and they actually are not as terrible as ones, as some of the years, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
But the cost of everything is out of control. I've been shopping. I know Target had like certain crowns and certain things for 50 cents, and Walmart, like, you literally have to. I said earlier it was like the Hunger Games, but it's a scavenger hunt trying to find absolutely everything that they need. It is intense, and it is not my favorite thing.
Well, I think it's finding everything that they need and then them being picky about when they're actually willing to accept. They're not taking that one. And they do have to have certain colors, certain brands. And then you have to, they feel about, are we just trying to keep up with the Joneses here? It's a pencil. It's still writes the same way. But it's always, I think, just a fiasco of figuring it out.
There's, so many options. Now, I was lucky because both of mine this year want to use the, same backpack that they had last year. And I am mind blown.
Oh, that is nice.
Which my boy, this is like year 3, I think, for the same backpack. So nice. I am winning. I also have like 4 Under Armour for sale. If anybody's interested in an Under Armour book bag from the earlier days, you will be seeing those on Facebook Marketplace real soon for sale if anybody needs them. But yes.
Yeah. I got lucky. My daughter actually picked one, and she's been using it for several years as well. And she never could find another one she liked, but now it's kind of ripped. So I think this is the year that we're probably going to have to buy a new one. And I'm sure she'll pick something that's not cheap. It'll be some sort of fancy schmancy ordeal.
It's gotta be. It's the only option.
Yes.
But I mean, there have definitely been years where they need 8 rolls of paper towels and 10 boxes of Kleenexes. And there's always the disclaimer that these could need to be replenished throughout the year. But all in all, it's like probably with 2 kids, it's probably like $400. It's
expensive. Well, and at one point in time, we were always buying all those supplies and spending a ton of money. And then one of my friends who lives in Northern Illinois, she was like, oh no, we just buy this box and it's cheap. I mean, it was only maybe $30 or something like that with all the supplies that they need. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, where's that?
Where do you get this box?
I want a box. It's like $30. She's like, no, it's through the school. Like, that's what they do. Instead of giving you a list, you just order this box and then you're done. And I'm like, for $30 and it gives you everything. She's like, yeah, that's all you got to do. I'm like, oh my God. Well, then we still had a couple more years where we had to pay for all the stuff. And then they all of a sudden initiated the box. And my kids were like, I'm not getting that box. I'm like, what? No, we can still get the list. So they wanted the list. Like, but we really could do the box and maybe add a couple cool things to go with it. It still would save me a ton of money. But they didn't like it.
Huh. I was going to do a shout out to St. Francis Holy Ghost Catholic School in Jerseyville, Illinois. I need the $30 box. Yeah. I need it, please. No, but you're absolutely right. Mine are particular little things. And so they've got to have.
It makes going back to school very stressful. Yeah. Just, making sure that you had the list, that you know what they need, and then you get what they want, that they like, that they feel confident when they go to school and fit in. It's just, I don't know, stressful. And I don't like shopping in Target or Walmart with all those people at the same time, especially when there's no taxes. Oh. So let's all show up at the same time.
No tax
and get no tax weekend. So it's packed.
And not even just the supplies. My kids go to private school, and one of the things that they probably think is a curse, as did I growing up, are uniforms. But as a mom, I love it because there's never a question of what you're going to wear, and all of those. Yeah, every single day the battle of I don't like this, or I want this but it's not clean, or I don't have that. It's a uniform. But kids grow like weeds, and so even just replacing the
uniforms,
skirts, the shirts every year, it's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So it's not my favorite, but Lord have mercy, am I ready? I'm not wishing summer away super fast. However, feeding these kids 3 times a day is a whole lot of work. It's a lot of work. So if school could take one of those meals off my plate, that I'm ready for that for sure.
Well, and I think the other thing is during the summertime. Now I'm one that never really wants school to start back up, because then it means when you do have homework, we have homework then too as parents. It's not really just the kids. Let's be honest. So I'm always like, we're going back to school already. Oh, I just don't really want to. But on the other hand, when it comes to food and feeding, it's true. Like, we inherit always a group of kids at our house all the time. We've always had an extra body, at least 1, if not 2 and more. So I'm feeding everybody's kids. So it is a lot cheaper when they go back to school. So that's one thing that I am excited for, because I'm always like, okay, at least this will be good. I'll get my wallet at least will get a little bit of a break instead of having to pay for feeding everybody. But I really don't like going back to having homework. I didn't like it when I was in school, and I don't like doing it now.
Oh, yeah. I'm a firm believer of no homework. I would love no homework. I just...
And we were really lucky because Tommy, our oldest, he's just a whiz. I mean, he's kind of has a photographic memory. So he just would be like, do everything on his own. You never had to help him with anything. And just wonderful. And then you went to the next kids after that, and they all needed help. And I'm like, this new math that they do, God bless. I mean, come on. I don't understand it. And if I tell you the way that still gets you the answer a whole lot faster, it's wrong. And they're going to because they have to show that they did it the right way.
I was going to say, I hear Nora saying, I have to show my work. I have to show my work.
So that's where I've had to get Tommy, and I'll be like, well, I know you didn't do this exact math, but I know you can figure it out, because I can't. So he's the one who's had to help tutor everybody.
Shout out to the HomeLink answer key, because that thing saves my life. Oh gosh, I don't know. I wouldn't say I was terrible at math, but when you get into like the algebra days and different, like, I am useless.
Yes.
So if Google can't help you, neither can Mama. So
Yep.
Math is probably our biggest struggle, where I'm like, I don't know either. Did you not learn this at school? I don't know. But yeah, it's a struggle for sure. For sure. And I have, Wyatt is very, very smart, but I don't know how much effort he puts forth. So he's one where we monitor grades and monitor the report card, and I have to threaten his life and to take away everything, because he is so smart and he is so capable, which is very, very, very frustrating for me as a parent, or even as a friend. When the people are capable of doing better, they just choose not to. Right. Really sends me over the edge. And then Nora's straight A's. So I have a little bit of, polar opposites, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, I think that's common of boys anyways. I just think it is. They'd rather be outside playing, running around, doing stuff, keeping busy. Or if they're into video games, like, be glued to that, whatever it is. I just think once they're done with school, they want to be done. So to come home, do homework, Austin was one where the teacher would always tell me, so Austin has like 10 assignments he hasn't turned in. I'm like, what? But we found them all on his desk, and they're all done. He just doesn't turn them in. And I'm like, what? So I'd ask him, why? Seriously, dude, you have all your homework done. Just hand it to the teacher. Oh, yeah. You couldn't even get a straight answer of why. He just did it, shoved it in his desk. So she would literally, probably once a month, go search his desk with him and catch him up on all of his homework, because it was all in there. He just would not turn it into things.
Why?
I have no idea. Those are the things of, like, when you're raising kids that you think, I don't understand. I just don't understand. There is nothing about that makes any sense whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Yeah, you're going to go through the effort of doing the homework.
Yes. Then turn it in.
Turn it in. It's not that difficult.
No. And it was funny because the teacher would call me, and at least he had some great teachers, and they all loved him because he was always a really good kid. But he just refused to turn his stuff in. And so she'd call, don't worry, I'm going through it, because, yeah, he's way behind again. You know what I mean? She's like, I just realized we just have to do once a month. We'll just clean it out. And that way I'll get all of his homework and he'll pass without a problem.
So bizarre. And I will say the older they get, I feel like the teachers that at least we're dealing with are a lot more cutthroat. Like,
Yeah.
This is 7th grade and I'm like, dang, I wasn't held that accountable until college. And then in college, they didn't even really hold you accountable. It's like, you do it or you don't, but we're not going to hold your hand.
Right.
So it's
well, I think they started in 5th grade, even starting to get more strict. And I was even some of the teachers during 5th grade for each one of my kids, they would even talk about, we're not going to do hand holding anymore once you're in 5th grade. Because when they go to middle school, we're not hand holding that much at all anymore. And you definitely can tell the difference between 6th grade and 7th of how much even more. And you know what I mean? So I guess it's good that they're doing that in 5th grade, but it is like, I don't remember it being like that.
No. Well, let me get your opinion on this. So I would say, here in Jerseyville, they just, like in the last, I would say probably 5 years or so, have transferred 8th grade to the high school. So our private school offers school up until 8th grade, or you have the option to do 8th grade at the high school. And so Wyatt was very, and he shoots trap and does, as his hobby or his sport, whatever. And he has built relationships with a lot of older kids. And so he was very much so like, I want to go to high school for 8th grade. I want to go to high school for 8th grade. And to be honest, at first, I didn't really have a problem with it. And I was shopping in a local store uptown, and she's like, I sent my kid for 8th grade, and it was too soon. She's like, it was too soon. She's like, they're not mature enough. They're into the world of, she's
it's
like,
different.
All of, the stuff that I guess you expect when you go to high school. And she's like, and just it being 8th grade, she's like, if I could do it over, I wouldn't have done it. Any thoughts on that?
Well, the way our schools are set up is that you go, grade school is through 5th, then you go to 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then you go to high school. And yes, I think that that's a good thing. There's a lot of change. 7th grade to me is such a changing year anyways. So I think 8th grade kind of gets them settled a little bit more before they make that leap to high school. So I would probably be a little bit reluctant to send them.
And we are. He's sticking to the, he's sticking to where he goes. It'll be my first year, my 1 year that I have drop off at the same place. So that hasn't happened in a few years, and I'll just have one drop off and one pickup location. So
oh, nice.
And the next year it's the freshmen. So that's oh gosh, I don't know.
Well, and then you join into a whole new world.
Sex, drugs, and alcohol. Right. it begins, and I'm
well. I don't know. Middle school.
Really?
It really, yes. It's so bad. It's so bad. And luckily, my daughter, she shares all the stories and the things she sees and watches just at school. It's
like what?
There's just kids that are taking stuff during the school day. And the next thing you know, they're being taken out by the emergency,
In middle school?
In middle school, yeah. 911's being called, and here's the ambulance.
Because
she would come home. She would tell me, just so you know, do not mix Benadryl and drugs.
Oh my gosh!
Because she'll tell me just like some of the things that's happened, and I mean, it's scary.
That is fucking terrifying.
It's very scary. And then there's kids that are just even like the vapes. And I understand like even vaping. We all know all these horrible stories even around people that are, these kids have been vaping and they end up at the hospital. And so they have usually there's a group of kids and they're dealing all that stuff, so they'll be dealing the vapes, and then you'll have the kids who get into the other types of drugs and stuff that they're doing. And that's all over in middle school, big time. So that's the reason why I also think it's kind of good to keep your kid in middle school through 8th grade instead of jumping to high school, because there is so much going on nowadays.
I know you can't see me because this is audio. Gina can, but I am mind blown right now. Absolutely mind blown. I feel like once a day I see online that someone died of a fentanyl overdose because they didn't realize that fentanyl was in whatever the hell it is that they're taking, or that they're making Molly look like Molly was always the one I thought would be a good time. Yeah. Never tried it. I have a very, very, very addictive personality.
Have you heard there's like the stickers, that they come to the grade schools and these people deal like these stickers, and then your kids, there's certain ones I think maybe even they lick it, and other ones they just stick it on their skin or something. Oh yeah, that was a real big thing too when they were in grade school, that they would have people that would like kind of lurk around the elementary schools, and then that's what they would get them into. They'd be like, you want these stickers? And they'd just think they were stickers. And the next thing you know, it's, no, those aren't just regular stickers. Those are drugs.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yes. I mean, that's why I guess for me, maybe I love summers. So even though I spend more money on food for these kids and I have a group of kids around, there's a couple reasons I do that. One, then I know your friends. So then that way I kind of have more of an understanding of who's influencing you, right? And I build a relationship with those friends. And so at the end of the day, it just is easier to help my kids manage through anything that's going on in life. And I don't like it when they do go back to school, because I lose a lot of that knowing what's going on all day. And even though my kids have been in a great school district and had great teachers and everything has been positive as far as that goes, it's just that unfortunately you get a mix of a group of kids, and I mean, things just happen, and everybody's influenced in different ways in their homes or by people in their neighborhoods and those kinds of things. And then they come to school and you just don't know what other things are influencing your children. And we are not the only people to influence our kids. And especially the older and older every year they get, the less and less that we have that where we are so impressive and amazing to be around. Now their friends are speaking the truth, and we don't know what that is. We don't understand. So
I'm scared.
You do. So you do lose some of that control for sure. And so I really am. I've probably always been bags. I'll be like, you're going back to school already? What's the date? I feel like I'm counting down just as much as the kids are. Because then I have to worry more about, did they pick up a new friend? And then we got to, we'll have them over and, let's get to know that kid. And luckily we've had good kids that have been around my house, and all my kids have really picked very, very good people to be around. So I've been fortunate. But there's been a lot of stories. Even with the good kids, there's still stories, and there's still things that happen even at their homes, and I don't know.
Hell yeah, I had a meltdown just this morning. Full blown meltdown before we started recording this episode. So yeah, there's that.
Right. So everybody's home is different.
Yeah.
Your kids are a part of every different one, and it's all influencing to them.
The drama definitely has slowed down, which again, boys are so easy in my opinion, because I didn't have that with Wyatt. Obviously there are people that are assholes. I mean, but you'll have that your whole life. And so it's teaching them to just kind of brush it off in one ear out the other. I got a sensitive girl. I've got a very, very sensitive girl, and she takes everything to heart. And I think that the poor thing got my ability to overthink everything, and so-and-so didn't answer, and I haven't talked to them in a couple of days, and are they mad at me, or did I do this, or it's exhausting, that part of it. And I have flashbacks to my grade school days when we would fight over who sat next to who at lunch, or who got invited to the sleepover that weekend and who didn't. And I'm just like, oh gosh, how do I help her be the type of person that is the leader, or just doesn't care. I just want her to be genuine to who she is and not care what everyone thinks. But she's got that bug.
Well, as you're talking about Nora and how she is, and she's more sensitive. I think it is more common with girls. But as like I said before, my daughter is not sensitive like that. She spirals on stuff like, she could have a cough or something and she'd be like, oh my God, do you think I'm dying? I just Googled this, and I'm like, stop Googling. She's like, but seriously, read it. It says all the things that's going on with me. And those are the things she spirals over, is that like she's going to have some deathly disease. And I'm always like, seriously, honey, you're never hardly even that sick. When you are, it's not that serious. And she spirals bad. But as far as like other kids and issues, she always thinks everybody else is like, feels like that is not so serious. Like, why do they think that that's such a big deal? And she just is goes through life and enjoys herself. And if you get mad at her, even, okay. I mean, she never is intentionally trying to upset anybody or do anything wrong. She doesn't go out there with a mean heart, you know? And so in the end of the day, if somebody thinks that she is, she's like, well, then that sounds like it's their problem because I'm not like that. And, you know, realistically, I guess she feels if they knew her well enough, then they would know she's not like that and take a moment to talk to her. She just doesn't get involved in all that, which is nice. And my boys really didn't either, except for my second in line. So Casey, out of my boys, when we just had the boys, I'd always say he is my daughter. Like, because he was just the one.
And we know that Casey listens. It's that second kid again.
Yes. And he literally, he was one worried what everybody thought. And he was one who had to dress a certain way. And he's the one that needed to be with certain people. And he could definitely get upset or bothered by what other people were to think or say. And my favorite story, so I do have to say this because this is just, I don't know, maybe this is bad parenting, but it was funny to me. So this is how I parented. He came home one time and he told me, he said, Mom, in school, these girls, they have these like boas. They're real like feathers, you know, and they're real long and they would play. And we all like play with them. And he's like, I want to get one. And I said, well, I think it's all the girls that are just wearing them. And he goes, no. There's boys wearing them too. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, I've never seen any girl wear these things at all. Like, it's always the girls. And it's just, I mean, more or less, I think even girls weren't wearing them. It was more like it feels so good, you know, like when you run your hands across feathers. Yeah, I mean, it just feels really good. So him and I had a debate, and he kept going back. Oh, no. Seriously, Matt, he's getting so angry. So we were at the store, and he saw them. There's a rack of them. And I'm like, dude.
I think I need an age for context. So what age are we talking about?
He was like 8 or 9 years old.
Okay.
And he's telling me, he's like, I swear, you were so stupid, Mom. I'm telling you. You know, I'm like, dude, I'm being honest with you. I'm trying to help a pal out, you know? And he's like, no, I said, you know what? That's fine. I'm going to buy it. That's cool. And you're going to wear it tomorrow to school. And he's like, oh, good. So I buy it. He goes home. My husband was so mad at me. Why would you purchase that and tell him to wear it to school? I said, you want to keep arguing with me that I'm the dumb one? I will teach you a lesson in a different kind of way. I never was one to be, I didn't take things away from you. I didn't do a lot of like punishment, especially by the time you're in grade school. I just didn't do that. And so I did things always creatively. And this was one of the ones where I'm like, he was being kind of rude to me, telling me how dumb I am. I mean, I could reprimand you or I could teach you a better lesson. So he went to school. I was laughing when he was going to school. It was like going to be my greatest day. So he goes to school and he comes back home and he was angry. And he goes, I went to school and only the girls have these things. And I'm like, I tried to tell you that like 15 times in the store and you didn't listen to me because I'm so stupid. And he's like, I can't believe that you let me go and take this. I'm like, there was no talking to you.
You wanted the damn boa, kid. You wanted the boa.
And you got it. You got it.
So how did that turn out for him that day at school?
Oh, he was embarrassed. Yeah, he was very embarrassed. It was.
I guess I want to know how his wires got crossed and how he thought it was.
It's called not listening. Casey's always in 5 places at once. So I think he thought it was cool. And the boys are probably playing around because they do feel good. You know, I mean, like,
but when he showed up with the one around his neck, it wasn't
when he showed
so
up
cool.
They're like, that's yours, dude. Oh, it was funny.
I actually borrowed it from my sister, but he probably didn't have a sister at that time.
No, he did not. So he had nothing to say. Oh, my brothers, yeah, no. They both would have looked at him like, yeah, no, buddy.
He couldn't have borrowed it from Mom either because that would have been straight up weird.
Yes. It was hilarious. But it is how I teach my lessons.
For our listeners, Gina's entire family has voted no on the sex line. So that that was voted out by her family. So that will not be a branch of the anxiety-ridden Moms Club. Will not be a sex line using Gina's sexy voice. So just to follow up on that. Okay. Before we wrap up on this back to school, which I did want to touch on lunches too. So how much do you give these high school kids for lunch right now?
For me, I think in high school, God bless, the food that they give these kids now in high school is so nice. Like, we had that just regular old, here's your lunch, be happy you got something to eat. And they have like times where there's Chick-fil-A, and I mean, they've got good food.
We don't have those here in these parts.
You don't? Oh no, they've got like really good food. So it does become a battle at times because they want to spend then obviously more money, and there has to come a cap for me. I'm like, I'm not going to put like you're going to a restaurant and spending $20 or something like that a day. And they easily could drop that with the snacks that they can get, the other stuff they can get in a vending machine, anything. They just have an array of choices. So I definitely have always just given kind of like, this is how much I'll give you. So at least once they get to the point they're working, they want to contribute more to their lunch and eat more. That's on them. But the reality of it is I kind of have to cap it because otherwise it can get out of hand, and they don't need to eat that much at lunch anyways. Each one of my kids has been different. So some really enjoyed certain things. So certain days they'd go kind of crazy, but then they wouldn't eat as much. Other days they might grab a couple snacks at home and then come home after school and eat like crazy. So it just kind of depended kid to kid, but I always did cap it because it can get expensive.
We have the option for, leaving campus at lunch, and, the first couple of years in walking distance, we had Dairy Queen and Taco Bell, which has since moved to the other end of town. But when you can't drive, those were kind of your options. Well, hell, you can't get anything at Dairy Queen for probably less than $7. We would go to McDonald's and get, I think they had like a McChicken and a small fry for like $2. And so I'm already thinking like, oh my God, what am I going to have to give them every single, for a lunch allowance, because the cost of things just aren't the same. Yeah. They're going to be eating 2 cheeseburgers from McDonald's for $3 on a regular basis, I have a feeling, because dang.
Well, and the other thing too to mention, our food supply in general, there's all the concerns about it. And so even with these kids eating the fast food stuff that they want to eat and all the different things, then you hear about all the autoimmune diseases and all the other problems. And I just noticed that even these high school kids are starting to have more issues. And like Tommy, it was when he was in high school that he ended up with a huge polyp in his nose. And huge. Like, I just thought he didn't take his allergy medicine, and we took him to the doctor several times. They're like, it's just allergies. And they even did a CT scan, couldn't find anything. And then he sent us to an ENT who put the tube right up his nose to scope him. And here's this humongous polyp. How it was missed on a CT scan, nobody can figure out. But after that is when later, and at some point, we'll probably get in discussions about it, but he ended up, that we found from this, we didn't find out, but we had the polyp removed, all that kind of stuff. He had surgery on it. And then later down the road, as an adult, that's when he ended up having a hereditary cancer. But you sit and you think about all these different food options that we have, even in the schools, and you do kind of wish that they, I don't know, have a little bit better, healthier somewhat options in comparison. But otherwise, it's just cheaper to say, well, like you just said, you can go to like McDonald's, grab a McChicken and something like that. And if they sell things like that at school, it's what they're going to eat. And you have a lot of kids who don't even have the means to afford different things. And they're kind of like limited on what it is that, what their choices are.
For sure.
So it makes even lunches more, for me at least, I mean, obviously, even having all the kids, that it just makes you kind of look back. And as I've learned, that it even makes it more like maybe more people should pack their lunch.
For sure. I know. Which we live pretty close, but not, I wouldn't say close enough for them to walk home for lunch, before they're driving. But
right
when they're driving, then that wouldn't be an issue to just come home for lunch. But
yeah, it's
good,
scary.
Good times, good things to look forward to. All right. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick real talk rapid fire. Ready? First one, biggest back to school failure willing to admit on air. Go.
Oh, that's easy. I once sent my kid on picture day and didn't remember, which, to be honest with you, let's just be honest, I never remembered any picture days.
You stole mine.
I never remember picture days. So they've always gone, and most every single photo of every single one of my kids is absolutely horrible. Their hair is not done like it should. The clothes they wore is not what you would have picked. It's just horrible. There's mine.
Okay, so mine, I'm gonna stick with the picture day thing, and that's just I mentioned that my kids wear uniforms. So when you forget picture day and they have to have their pictures in uniforms, It's not fun. It's not fun. And it was actually my mom, because that's when I was working in St. Louis and leaving early, and my mom had taken them to school. And she was pissed. She was like, you have one job. Like, they're in their uniforms and it's picture day. And she went home and got them clothes, but it was bad. Yeah. And then my mom and I got into a fight, and it was bad. So yeah, mine's along the same thing with picture days.
But I gotta say, especially since I was, young and in grade school, really like in the 80s. When I look back at those school pictures, they're horrible too. So I don't really care that my kids are bad. I'm like, just take a look at my eyes and shut up.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Okay, next rapid fire. One thing you're actually excited about this school year.
Honestly, the quiet house for a few hours, especially, we all know that I work here now, so I love them so much, but mama needs a breather. So bring on school 8 to 3, baby. Let's do it.
For me, I think it's routine. I do definitely thrive on routine. So sometimes the summer can throw me off, and I just need to get my regular schedule just back in order.
I am all over the place. We all decided that I'm the one who leaves for, vacation and don't have a place to stay 2 days prior. So yeah, that is me, but definitely. And I think the kids strive in structure too. And so just going to bed at a normal time and getting, just that structure, I think that we crave, and my kids, are better in that environment, than they will stay up till the wee hours of the morning. And then I'm like, I gotta work. I'm going to bed. Don't catch anything on fire, because we'll have to catch up on that in another episode, when I woke up to Wyatt saying that the shed was on fire, because him and a friend were playing with fire at 5. They set an alarm to wake up at 5 a.m. to go play with fire. Like, why? I just love my sleep too much for that. So
me too.
Good luck to all of us, but back to school is here. So mamas, deep breaths, whether you're the mom crying in the parking lot or the one popping champagne in car lines. Here we go. Look for me. I'll be popping champagne in car line. Gina will be crying. No, I say that, but I get choked up every single time. So it's just another year starts and another one goes by, and before you know it, it's high school, college, and then they're gone. So, but moms, you're doing amazing. We're in this together.
And if your kids show up in last year's sneakers, no judgment. We're here for you and your sanity. Send us back to school hacks or your own rapid fire answers. We want to hear them.
Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at the ARMC, or email us at thearmc2025@gmail.com, and subscribe to the Anxiety Ridden Moms Club wherever you listen to podcasts. And hey, good luck surviving the first week.
If no one's told you lately, let me be the one to say it. You're not failing, you're growing. You're not broken, you're becoming, and you're doing better than you think.
Thanks for being here today. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love if you'd subscribe, leave a review, or share it with another mom who might need to hear this. You can also connect with us on Facebook or TikTok at the ARMC. We'd love to hear your story.
Until next time, give yourself grace, breathe deep, and remember, peace is possible.